Hey, it's the DNA podcast entering 2025. It's our first one. So it's only right we say welcome, all the best of the year. I'm Andy Ngube. I'm alongside the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the best South African footballer to have ever touched a round ball. Doggy?
Later.
2025.
Hey, man. Compliments of the new season.
Same to you. Big year.
Ish.
For Bafana Bafana.
It is, eh?
Big year 2025.
It is. It is a big one. And, Andy, I must say that, yes, of course, we should have done this before Christmas. But I just want to say thank you very much for all the supporters that supported Bafana Bafana. We made it to the 2025 Afcon in Morocco because of the support that we have experienced. Andy, it was not an easy task what 10Bet did to me. I had to go to the interviews. I had to meet the person that has won the dressing room experience. But to be honest and precise, on paper it looks difficult. Ebe mnandi badi. Yazi wokumnandi. Sometimes more interact than abantu.
Yeah.
You understand where they're coming from, who are they?
Yeah.
And without the 10Bet, affording us this opportunity, I would have loved to probably had experienced this one because people are only telling me now how they felt.
Ah, I see.
You understand? And I'm like, oh wow. Kanti ibola liso senza abantu ukuthi babe kanje.
Yeah.
You don't realize that.
Yeah. It's retrospective, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying. But I must say that thanks very much everyone, and even those who participated but banga winanga, you still have a chance. There are games that need to be played. When is the first game in Bafana?
March?
It's in March.
March
the 11th.
Two games in March.
Or 2 games in March.
2 games in March.
Our neighbor, ne?
Yeah. World Cup qualifiers.
Lesotho is one of them.
Yeah, World Cup qualifiers is a big one.
Also, Afcon.
I mean, we've qualified.
So we've qualified.
Yeah, so now we need to qualify for the World Cup. And that's what we're chasing. But Doggy, it's important you say what you're saying because I remember when 10Bet partnered up with Safa.
Yeah.
I had to sit down with Percy Tau, Ronan Williams.
Yes.
And we had a chat about this partnership. And they said, Andile, if there's one thing we'd like to see, is we'd like to see the stands full again. We'd like to see if this brand partnership can help us reach the people.
Yeah.
If it can help us reach the people, because we're going to do the job on the field.
Yes, on the field, yeah.
And Mubuga Manje, what's happened?
Wow.
I'm very proud of the journey that we've taken alongside with Bafana Bafana.
Definitely. Bloemfontein, unbelievable. Cape Town, unbelievable. Quebec, unbelievable. Then, Kweskama Minzel, Orlando, unbelievable. Sold out all 4 games. Just after City dressing room, Maranani understand this into, but no, this standela for the good part of it. And are we still going to do that again?
Yeah.
The dressing room experience?
We're going to carry on. If you missed of all the competitions we did, you have an opportunity to go alongside Doc in the Doc Tales. Over Doggy to a game, sit with him during a game, watching 90 minutes, get into the dressing room before the players get there, see what the setup looks like, what the boys are going to be experiencing. You might even meet a couple of players, but you'll definitely be sitting alongside Doggy. I might pull through, Tando Tabete might pull through, Mini Lamini might pull through. Hey, maybe even Herschel Gibbs could be watching a game with you. You never know. So this season, in 2025, we continue to support Bafana Bafana. We continue to make it a family experience with 10Bet.
No, definitely. That's a good one, Andy.
Hey, so it's Lesotho.
Yeah.
On the... When are the dates?
It's not the 11th.
On the 11th, I think. Why didn't I mean Paling Lesotho?
I'll patalang subscription.
Hey, man, now. Language.
I get more Google ngesilungu kuthi i-subscription ubhadele mara yakumbutsela kuveneke awubhadala.
Okay, let's see.
Awulungise uyayithola lapha.
There's players in my life that I've watched that I've admired, that have been heroes to me. David Beckham is one. I think you take away even the football. And I think that's the thing with me is I like the football, but it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
When you look at what it was beyond just football. He became a cultural icon.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought, no, David Beckham is still David Beckham.
Exactly.
Cristiano Ronaldo is one. But nobody's ever made an impact like Dr. Kumalo. Dr. Kumalo was the first real superstar of South African football because he was young enough to transcend ageism. You know, Wandabadala like Dr. Sinasi Ngosi like Doggy. And the number 15, if you're a player that can make a number iconic, 10 has already been a number. It's a number. Number.
Yeah.
9 is a number. Number. But to make a number 15 and make it a cultural and make it iconic. And I've said this to you before.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, and today I get to cement my love for it because I get to have a piece of you in my house.
Yeah.
I went and I bought the old school jersey and I want you to sign this for me. So it's a re-edition of the jersey that and the rest of the team that you played for were most successful wearing.
Yeah.
It is the old Bafana Bafana jersey.
Yes.
96 jersey.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And I want you to just sign this for me. I'm never going to wear it. I'm going to frame it. I'm going to put it in my house.
Andy.
So here it is. Take a look at this. I love it. It comes in short and long sleeve. I've got the long sleeve.
The long
version.
sleeve. Yeah.
And then at the back, boom. And then it's got a nice detail as well here in the front. You know, it says DK15. So, Doggy, if you could please do me the honors of signing that for me.
Okay.
Because, this podcast is a lot more about this Bafana Bafana we talk about. It's going to be framed. It's going to sit in my house. And I'm excited for it. This, for me, is a moment and a half. The iconic 15. What's it when?
There it is.
There it is. Doggy, I appreciate this.
No, you're welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
Boaz, Marangu, Dr. Kumo like signing. Boaz. I don't think a lot of people know this, Doggy, because when you think about star players, and every team you've ever played for, you were the star of the team. They get the jersey 10.
Yeah.
When you got to Chiefs, there was no 10 that was available because you were the youngster.
The youngster, yeah.
But why did you never change to a 10 when the opportunity presented itself?
And it's a good question. As Mankala, they gave me number 16. And when the league was about to start after the Iwisa Spectacular, and then the late Pratiki Koza gave me jersey number 15. And I was told that the person that used to wear this jersey, immediately he was a workaholic in terms of going up and down and all that. But Jan Malombo di chap. Yo. Wow. Okay, I'll take the 15. And I remember Prajan, until today, he's still arguing to say, I gave you that jersey and you never disappointed. And I really appreciated the sentiments. And I never looked back. I thought, let me just go out there because it was not all about the number. For me, it was the badge.
You never wanted the 10?
The 10, hey, 10 being isaba, man. I get my bengona le Pirates, jersey number 10. I am Chomana. Imagine come on, good if I go Chiefs. Expectations will be like, I need to be like Mchoman because number 10, the only number 10 that I knew was Prajay, if not Father Mposho at Swallows. So those were two great players that I knew. And I was like, wow, okay. And then also, I don't know whether you know Highlands Park.
Yeah.
There was a player called Desparkos, the shortest player in the middle of the park. A Dunga like Mweti's type, may his soul rest in peace. He was wearing jersey number 10 also at Highlands Park. So I was like, no. Yeah.
And then that's how you just ended up 15?
Yeah, just ended up with 15. But what a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And for all the sentiments, the wise words you just said now, wow. I never thought, Wuti, I'll hear this in my life. But thank you very much. I really
no,
appreciate
Dougie, there's only one other person. You can go to Man United and, and you look at George Best and the number 7, perhaps.
Yes.
Because that was created. It was a player.
Yeah.
In South African football and in world football, you don't get things like that.
Yes, definitely.
Jordan in the 23.
Yeah.
Is Dog in the 15, so I appreciate that.
No,
thank you so much for signing
Thank you, my
of the
brother.
old school jersey.
Eita.
Are you ready?
No, I'm ready. What's cooking?
Let's start with taking a look. We've got the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Into the World Cup.
Okay.
He wants to go to the World Cup. So let's take a look at what we've got as far as South African players. Right?
Okay.
Where are they? What's going on?
Okay.
And now he has to assemble the team.
Yeah.
And the team is a little bit different now. Mokwana's moved.
Yes.
Percy's moved.
Yeah.
Lyle's dropped.
Yes.
So let's take a look at what Bafana Bafana looks like. Yeah. Let's start with Percy. Percy's moved to Qatar.
And I saw that a couple of days ago. Firstly, let me congratulate him for a new contract. Yes, of course, as an individual, you decide for yourself. You actually make decisions. So he moved to Qatar, if I'm not mistaken. But then I don't know whether was that a good move or is he signing off to say no international games in sharp? Because why I'm saying this, if I were to ask you, which tournament that is well celebrated in the world have you ever seen a Qatar national team? Or any of the teams that come from Qatar participating in a competitive situation? Yes, we can talk about the US, but US sometimes they participate and compete in the World Cup.
True.
They do have the best players that are coming from outside the US. But when you look at the Qatar situation, it's a very tricky one. So I'm not too sure whether Percy is always mhlawumbe destiny yakhe is probably to retire from there. But then, why did it make that kind of a decision? So Bafana Bafana man.
So are you saying it might compromise his place in Bafana?
It might, because now
the league is not competitive.
It's not competitive. Mina angazi ngizwa bathi Qatar yadlala Confederations Cup. Okay, maybe not because they're not part of Africa, but there are tournaments that at least they should participate. We have seen Saudi Arabia. We've seen Saudi Arabia participating, but I've never heard of Qatar. So that on its own, it raises eyebrows. But I'm not saying it in a bad way, and I don't want any person to misinterpret what I'm saying. But from where I'm seated, it's going to be difficult for Hugo to decide to call him back. Because asiboni na angazi ngibona igame yaseQatar.
They ranked.
Into engiyazi ngeQatar abablind ngabo Maserati. I'm a Porsche. Yo. I'm a private plane.
My man. You heard the initial rumor that came out on his salary.
No?
Over 10 by a month.
Yes. Okay. So kusho ukuthi as a person, as an individual, uzoscora big. Because at the end of the day, it's about you after the game. After everything, if you don't take care of it before you hang up your boots and you make a correct decision, but he's
only 30 years old, don't you?
Yeah, he is.
At 30, are you saying from now on I'm focusing on,
I think
the afterlife? I mean, also, Percy is educated.
Yeah, he is.
He got a degree last year.
Okay.
He continues to study this year as well. He's made good money his whole career.
Yeah.
He's made some good money, some good investments as well.
Yeah.
But at 30...
Yeah,
at
but
30,
I hear you.
There's a World Cup coming.
I hear you. I think manje moyibeka kanjalo. Then we look at why is it that most of prominent players opted for Saudi and some of the countries that side. because of money. Benzema, come to Benzema, I see Real Madrid just like that. I Saudi.
Most of them had, bar Ronaldo perhaps.
Yeah.
Most of them had given up on their international careers by then, or retired from their international careers by then.
Yeah, I think
Kante as well, perhaps another bar.
But I'm not speaking on his behalf. This decision might have been probably prompted by the fact that he was overlooked and no one gave him probably a proper reason which why he's not playing for national team anymore. And maybe he thought, you know what, you prepare for my retirement. And of which is, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But we have lost a giant. We have lost a player that I strongly believe that he would have contributed tremendously for the national team. But that decision, maybe it's a positive one for him.
Lyle Foster is another one.
Okay.
What are the big pull with Lyle Foster was the fact that he plays in commercially the best league in the world and competitively one of the better leagues in the world. That was a big pull. He plays against some of the biggest players in the world, in world football. Week in, week out, he's competing with Van Dijk. He's competing with Harry Maguire. He's competing with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Week in, week out. Yeah. That was the big pull to say, even if he's not scoring that, his experience is going to help us.
Exactly, yeah.
He's in the championship now. Now what?
Unfortunately, those are footballing problems. And they found themselves relegated from the competitive league league that level that you're talking about. But as much as you are comparing in terms of his experience, given the fact that he will be facing all top players, make no mistake, the second tier, EPL, it is competitive probably more than
the actual
Premier League. It's not an easy league to play in. Hence, that's the reason why when you're relegated, it can take you 4 to 5 months for you to come back.
4 to 5 years, yeah.
4 to 5 years for you to come back because it's competitive. So the infrastructure, salaries, professionalism, everything, it's the same as the first tier. And hence, that's a reason why you see sometimes when they play the FA Cups, yes, of course, some of the teams, they've been beaten 8-4, 5 because unknown. But the ones that, let's take, for example, a Nottingham Forest. It was down there and they made their way up. And believe where they are now. They are third on the log. So if you think Guti, the second tier is not strong, we wouldn't have seen Nottingham where it is today because they are third on the log.
Well, let me give you his stats this season.
Okay.
In the championship.
Okay.
12 matches.
12 matches.
1 assist.
Yeah.
1 goal.
Wow. Well, on paper, it doesn't look good, but I strongly believe that that's a competitive level and that's a competitive league. Yes. Probably that's a reason why he can't even score goals because teams down there, they're very hungry to be promoted to the senior league. And probably that's a reason why. But then you ask yourself, when they were still in the Premier League, he was scoring goals. But then that problem that he had, maybe it might have had a negative, found himself having a negative situation in terms of playing. But I don't think we should disregard or discard him out of the national team because it is still competitive.
And then you look at Mayo.
Oh.
CAF Champions League, 6 appearances, 1 goal. In the league, 10 appearances, 2 goals is what he's sitting with at the moment. Wow. Playing in North Africa, not an easy league either.
That's one player that I hope and wish that, they can consider him for Bafana Bafana. That boy, looking at his background, and a very humble one with the guidance of his dad, Patrick Mayo, I strongly believe that that's one of the boys that actually caught my eye, and I'm very proud of him. For a youngster to have settled in such a environment where he is. I'm not saying it's bad, but in terms of the environment, because sometimes,
Algeria is not easy.
No, I know it's not an easy. Yeah. It's not an easy league to play in. It's very tough, but he has shown professionalism and the growth a bit. His mental factor, he has grown tremendously. I applaud him. And a couple of days, if not 3 days ago, I read his interview and he was asked a question about Bafana Bafana, and he said, "I hope one day they will realize that I'm raising my hand and I want to be part of the national team." So he is one of the stars that I strongly believe that we can have a look at him and let's put our egos aside and all that, man. For the change, man, let's give players that are playing in top leagues, that are giving us performance, an opportunity for them to play. Now, the tricky part, Andile, is that Hugo doesn't want to change that much his squad. And that might have an effect for both Percy and Mayo. Because we were talking about Mabasa's performance at Pirates.
At Orlando Pirates, yeah.
At Orlando Pirates. Because remember that time, Maskulmangale performance, he was top of his game. And he kept a blind eye. Because he strongly believed that the guys that I'm with, I'm going to stick with them.
He prefers the Rainers, Machopa,
Lyle
Foster.
Lyle Foster and all that. And look, he qualified with those players. So the unfortunate part, the philosophy of the coach and his decision-making is final, because some coaches, like the late Clive Barker, he wouldn't want to chop and change the squad.
Yeah, you knew Clive Barker's 11. Never mind squad.
Yeah, you remember.
You knew the 11.
The 11.
Yeah, was Galaban.
Yeah, Mabatis Lale FNP. Was
Gash. We has 11. Makulim is on second half.
Second half.
Keep feeling. Part of some dog in the shoes.
Yeah. No Linda.
Yeah. Hey, usiz wenanya lapha.
Yeah. Then
David Nanya, Helman Pamwa.
So it's almost the same.
You know what I mean? Fish now. What are you talking about?
Definitely.
Let me put in another player.
Yeah.
Elias Mokwano. He's out at Esperance. Once again, top team.
Wow.
Top team.
Yeah.
This season, in the Champions League, 10 games, 2 goals.
Yo.
Right? In the league, in the Champions League, 6 games, 3 goals. In the Champions League.
Champions League?
Yeah.
6 games.
6 games,
3
goals, 2 assists. So in 6 games, he's giving you 5 goals. And in the league, 10 and 2. 10 games, 2 goals.
Umkwan is the player from Polokwane City.
No.
Sikukuni.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a mistake. No, Sikukuni.
Yeah, from Sikukuni. The winger.
Hey? Is that the player who had a problem with contract?
Yeah. When he got there, there was a problem with the contract. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Are they paying him? Are they not? That's the man we're talking about. At Esperance, though.
So everything was resolved.
Yeah.
Now he has played 6 games with
Champions League.
3 goals.
3 goals, 2 assists.
2 assists. Yo. Wow. And he is in Hugo Bro's squad, but he's not starting.
Yeah, he hasn't cemented his place.
Oh, is it?
But I mean, gee whiz, when you're talking about we're doing an international check on players. 10 games in the league, 2 goals.
From where I'm seated, we're looking at a player that is doing well on a competitive situation, competition. Because, Andile, let's face the reality. Bafana, the last game was in Cape Town. It was in December, and the next game is in March. They don't have any CAF games in between. Now, what do you think Hugo will rely on? He's going to rely on players that are participating not only by sitting on the bench and you appear on the team sheet, but participating as in you starting. So if you say this boy has played 6 CAF, 3 goals, 2 assists, clearly Hugo should be smiling wherever he is, because his players are more effective in competitive competitions. So I'm smiling. I'm very happy to hear that. And for a boy that has a problem, your contract, and you are babonisa labantu ukuthi mamelanda cishe nayenza mistake. This is me.
And then Doki, there's one that baffles me. And he hasn't been part of the squad. He's played 14 games. He scored 4 for Bafana Bafana.
14?
Yeah, and he spent a bulk of his career in France. His entire career in France.
Yeah.
Lebo Mothiba.
He's
been
striker.
without club since the middle of last year.
Yeah?
He's only 28 years old, is Lebo Mothiba, Doc.
How? 28?
He has not been with the club since last year. I mean, we're in 2025 now, so let me say the middle of last year.
Middle of last year.
South Africa is losing a great striker with experience there.
Hold on. I got a team in France.
I got a team, period.
Agadali.
He's without club.
Is that the Mothiba that was actually once he was with the national team?
Yeah, 14 games with the
14
national team.
games with the national team. He scored 4 goals. Yeah, yeah, no Mercedes Megalmeka.
Manje Linda, solibeka ingekani. Waphela manje.
So, hey man, no, she's a loser, a player. But I think if I'm not mistaken, ngeke ngafunda somewhere, but Chiefs in ama talks now interested in him, blah blah, but he denied that.
They should be talking to him.
They should be talking to him. Yeah. No, it's one hell of a player that I strongly believe
Tebogo and Sailor were out for a while.
Yeah.
But they were fit. They were training.
No?
So Mtobi Mvala is the first one I want you to talk about. What do you think of, I mean, we might be without Mtobi come March.
Yabona ukhuluma ngento engazwela ngendlebe zami. I bump into the boy and mina ngimangele lo muntu ofake ibrace engaka ofake isport uza kimi le guy legend ngithi manje ubani lo mangithi hey Mvala Tere boy, how are you now in December holidays so ngithi hey man and down the brace are coach ke shayile di ligaments and manje ligament if you don't have a proper physio and probably proper medication, whatever, inokuthatha isikhathi. And this is a good question because I asked him, will you be able now to play the match games? Sabafana, I doubt, coach. I doubt because at the moment, I'm pressing. Manje mauti.
It's out of the brace now.
Out of the brace,
but still, there's a lot of work to be done.
No, there's a lot of physio and physical training that he needs to go through. And the ligaments, they take too long. Very, very too long, especially if it's a knee, you know. But I just wish him speedy recovery and all the best. Hope he will be recovered. Maybe Masisdala, the second game there in September of the World Cup qualifiers. Yeah.
Then the other one that I don't think he's making March.
Yeah.
I don't know about moving forward, when we're going to have him. Temba's one. Mshishi is still nursing his injury.
But I saw him at training.
I mean, he's training.
He's training, yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if he's training fully yet, but he's training. I'm not sure if he makes March, Doggy. Doggy, we're at the end of January now.
And you know, the very same injury, Mshishi alimele kuyo ongayo. I have an experience because Nami, I did the operation on my Achilles tendon. And it was 9 months. 9 months. So, but based on the physics, she vis-a-vis mine, because I'm not playing competitive. So that is why it took 9 months. So I'm not too sure how quickly. But if he is still struggling to recover.
Well, I mean, not struggling necessarily, but is he fit for March?
I don't think he will be fit for March yet. Because now we in January, so he's only left with Feb. I don't think he'll be ready for those games. Probably if we can look like September, and probably we'll be back for the Sundowns games. Yeah.
Lastly, I want us to congratulate our boy, 27-year-old Siyabonga Ngezani.
Hey, yeah, I'll see you, man.
Doing big things.
Hey.
Winning not only with the team, but winning individual awards as well.
Oh, yes,
Best defender,
definitely.
Best foreign player in the country in his first season.
In his first season. And considering the fact that he was a victim in some of the supporters here in South Africa. Yeah, he was a victim. And this shows that, uNkulunkulu enza izinto ngendlela yakhe. And there's only one person who can decide your fate. Not any other person. Only strongly believe in yourself, and for you to be disciplined and make sure with everything that you want to desire, to have in life, it's discipline, and just go out there and just play your game. But I must say, well done to the boy. He has done very well. Yes, of course, for his individual gain, all those accolades, bro, in a foreign country, wow. Well done.
Let's pick some of the individual players, of course. Let's take a look at the calendar here. We've got the 4 qualifiers this year.
Okay.
We've got Chan this year. Mm-hmm. And then later in the year, we've got the actual Afcon. That's what Bafana Bafana looks like. It's a packed calendar for Bafana Bafana.
It is.
Talk to me, overall, Bafana Bafana this year, 2025.
I would like to believe that we still maintain the very same players, even those who are on the bench in the stands. And Hugo, he's been very instrumental in terms of keeping the very same squad and not chop and changing, which that's what it helped us. But the problem that I have is that we have emerging players, the Mayos, Mabasa, and then at Paris there's Shota. At Soundhouse there's Koza. And then do we have a plan for them?
Because already?
If we would do this, angithi naye singamfaka ku-10 sithi hey awurubone lwena mfana that boy until he's raising his hands ubani okay yoshaya amashot ukudlula lo mfana ukora 45 meters
yeah sibakumbatha ungathi khona
double exposure.
But also, if you're going to be going young players doing well, there's Ukoza at Sundowns.
At Sundowns. Then you're talking under 23. If the age yabavumela, then we can now talk about...
We should have the best under 23 team in the world right now. Or one of.
Now you're reminding me, Ngoba, the last time I counted, it was more than 20 players that are under age, that we can form an under 23, that it's very formidable. Like the one you Matthew Boothie, you mentioned that Leashai Brazil, Quintin Fortune.
Sheikh Mashaba's team.
Yeah, Sheikh Mashaba's team. Fabian McCarthy. We can
Wasn't Jabu part of the team?
No.
Wasn't the team?
No, he was not.
I remember the team well.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Well, clearly not well, but I remember the team.
Yeah, and again, the program at PSL is going to play a major role because I'm looking at a calendar year World Cup vis-a-vis a CAF. As fun. As World Cup, we are a match, usually in September.
The qualifiers?
Yeah. We are going to keep So in between, we only dependent on teams.
Yeah.
And the players that are playing in the CAF tournaments.
Which is good.
Competitive.
That Sundowns is still in there.
It's still there, yes.
You've got Orlando Pirates qualified for the quarters.
Thank you.
You've got Stellenbosch qualified for the quarters.
Yes.
So those three teams. And there's a lot of our players that come from those three teams.
It gives us what? 8 to 7 players or what?
8 to 9 players.
8 to 9 players.
Minimum 7 players from
And then Pirates?
Pirates will throw in another 4 or 5, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 or 6. And then Stellenbosch probably getting 2.
Yeah, then Stellenbosch will throw in some players there as well.
Oh, wow.
So
then I think, and then again, we have those Mokwanas who are playing outside the country. For Slav.
Competitive. They're playing.
Competitive.
Yeah.
So.
Got Ronan Williams.
Yeah.
You got Aubrey Mudiba, Mvala, Mudau, all at Sundowns.
Yeah.
Tebogo Mokoena.
Okay.
You got depending. Grant as well is another one. Question mark. Sometimes he calls him. He hasn't called him. The last time he didn't call him. You've got a Grant Kekana that's there.
The Reyners.
You've got a Reyners that's there. You've got a Tapela Masego that he has called.
Has called before.
So all of that at Sundowns.
Yeah, Sundowns.
You've got a Tito, you've got a Mofokeng, you've got a Mbata, you've got
CBC.
a CBC.
And China.
A chain in jail in
the goals. Yeah. So it's 5.
So you've got that
so
5.
If Kogi was playing and fit, he would have been one of the players because he was once been called.
Possibly.
So maybe then when we're looking at other players that are playing, like your Apolis, whose team is doing very well and he's very competitive. He's playing his part in terms of Polokwane City's victories. So
Evidence Mahopa.
Oh yeah. 6 now. 6. Yeah. So Mufukeng Bombalila ngit.
Yeah, Mufukeng.
So it's 6 ngit.
And then you've got in Stellenbosch, you've got a Basadine.
Yes.
So those 3 teams
and Titus, no?
Bring up the bulk of our national team. Yeah, then you've got a Polokwane with Apolis. You've got all the internationals. Yeah, but those 3 teams provide the bulk of our squad.
No, definitely. Then
Chiefs as well, of late.
Yeah, then obviously Totally is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the teams will play a major role in making sure Oguti standard say national team as trophy. And also we need to be wary about the footballing problems because suspensions, injuries, and sometimes game time, because we can't guarantee Oguti these players will be playing all the games.
We're not going to go into detail on that group of Bafana Bafana.
Yeah.
When Nigeria sit at the bottom and they've just gotten the new coach who Nigerians are not happy with. Because those qualifiers only start in March.
Yeah.
So closer to that, we're going to come through and we're going to break down the group that Bafana Bafana in Group C.
Yeah.
We're sitting in second position. What does that group look like? What do we need to do in that group? And how do we tackle those games?
Okay.
So we'll get into that closer to the time. Right now, just an overall of the year.
Of 2024.
Of 2025.
2025. Yeah. Let's focus Bafana qualifying for Morocco. Obviously, it's a program on its own that they still have to go and compete in the Afcon. And then when we come to the World Cup, I think the first 2 games are very critical and very important in terms of us playing Benin and Lesotho. We have to get maximum points there. And I know it's not going to be easy, but that match program is the key for Bafana to determine whether they'll be able to pull it off for the World Cup. 6 games to go. Yeah. But the 2 games in March, very critical.
You get those 2 games,
get those 2 games,
6 points.
6 points.
Then you're sitting on 11.
Yeah, on top. Now,
how many points do we have? No, we have 7.
7 now. Yeah. So
13 is 13 what you could get away with.
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's a break, World Cup qualifier, and our next game in the qualifiers will be in September, if I'm not mistaken. And with all the problems that your Nigeria are having, and remember, Zimbabwe, I'm not too sure whether it's banned by Liftile for them to use their own national stadium or they're still using South African fields. But I'm not Angola, yes.
So it's September. They're gonna use our facility. We're gonna end up having a home game on that one.
Is it?
Yeah, we're gonna have.
So it will be away game but at home.
At home. Lesotho, South Africa on the 1st of September. They will play Nigeria on the 8th of September.
The second game in Lesotho is in September.
Yeah.
And then Nigeria.
Yeah,
we're looking at...
then we wrap it up in October.
Yeah.
Still have games in October.
In October, yeah.
We've got games in October. We play Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And then Rwanda. On the 6th
and Rwanda,
and
number 1.
Of October. At the moment.
At the moment.
You
see how important it is, these 2 games is that much. And then, obviously, with Lesotho, the first game in September, but taking nothing away from Lesotho, it's going to be a difficult game to play against them.
And the rules are different, remember, of the qualifiers. This is going to be the biggest World Cup as far as numbers of teams that come from Africa are concerned.
Oh, is it?
They've expanded it.
Okay.
So you need to win your group.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all. Yeah.
You need to win your group.
So
there's no let's win our group.
Our group, we're
done.
Like we did with the Afcon.
And we can do that this year.
This year.
We can win our group this year.
And this is the only best time for us to play Nigeria.
Rwanda's not stronger than us. Nigeria right now, no, we don't know what's going to be happening by October.
Yeah.
But Nigeria not strong at the moment. Lesotho, we should beat Lesotho any
Definitely, we have to, yeah.
Rwanda might be sitting on top of us, Doggy, but we're better than Rwanda.
No, we have to. No,
Benin, we should beat Benin.
Benin, yes.
Zimbabwe, we should beat Zimbabwe.
Like we
There's
did
no ways we don't qualify out of that group.
No, definitely. But Yabona, team Zimbabwe, when they played us at Bloemfontein, a very formidable side. And I don't know whether is it because they are our neighbors and there's that derby rivalry, but not rivalry per se, but they were hyping. And it came here. I just hope with
Lastly, before we get out of here,
yeah,
Andre Arense comes out last year,
yeah,
and says, South Africa, you need to take Ime Ocon. He was then 18, 19, and give him a national call-up and give him a cap so that you lock him in to the South African system and to be South African, so he plays for South Africa and no one else, because he's that good.
Yeah.
He's half Nigerian, half South African.
Yeah.
Ime Ocon can play for Nigeria, can play for South Africa.
For South Africa.
He's at SuperSports United.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's Kuluma. He's in Ukraine on trial.
On trial.
I spoke to Pogiso.
Yeah.
Pogiso's a snack, the former TS Galaxy, who's now at SuperSports, says, I played with him only a couple of months. He's that good.
Okay.
I don't know what you've seen. And if you even agree with the notion that you take a player when you don't even think, because obviously Hugo Bruce doesn't think he's ready because he would have called him up. He doesn't even call him up in the preliminary squads.
Yes.
You give him the cap just so you lock him in to later cultivate the potential.
It's a tricky one because the individual hasn't said anything about playing for South Africa. Only people surrounding or around him are the ones that are coming up with this. But if he has to tell us that I want to play for South Africa, then that I will strongly support. But at the moment, but
is he good enough from what you've seen? For us,
yes, of course, from what I've seen.
For national team?
For our national team, I wouldn't know. But what he has done at SuperSport, I've watched him, a very good player, very disciplined, and in good hands. And probably Aranze knows very well why he has to say that, And look, we don't have a problem for him if he has to play for South Africa because you are saying he's he's half Nigerian, half South African. But I strongly believe the player has to raise his hands and say, I want to play for South Africa. I'm landing at Lyle Foster, yet cause Sundowns that are original. So Magubi original, I was so forced to Muntu or half, then I have a problem. As a country struggling, yet we have our own that can probably do better than him. But I'm not condoning the fact that I'm saying he shouldn't be called up. But if he can say, I want to play for South Africa. Because amanye player ayakhuluma ngaphandle. I mean, look how many players that are coming from Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast and whatever, that are playing for European countries. Even Nigerians. I mean, Saka, where is he from? You understand? He just said, I want to play for England.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
As far as the DNA podcast is concerned, it's the first one of the year. It was a breakdown on some of the players, what they've been up to, what we look like at the moment. We're going to do a refresh in March just before the first game takes place. And let's see, those two qualifiers. Can Hugo Bruce get 6 points from there? Puts him in pole position to qualify out of this group and into the World Cup. And then I'll bring the question to Doggy. If he would have had what? Third at the Afcon?
Yeah.
Qualified for this Afcon?
Yeah.
Qualifies for the World Cup.
Okay.
Does that bring him close to Clive?
He has to win it.
He has to win the Afcon.
He has to win the Afcon and qualify for the World Cup. then singakhuluma naye sithi in fact singamtshela ukuthi uSlive.
But at the moment number 2
manje asikwazi ukumtshela ngoba uzothuka.
We're going to get out of here. I'm Angela Ngube. He is GOAT, Dr. Kumalo.